Welcome to your Daily Writing Habit, episode number 215. If you are writing a book or thinking about it, or maybe you're trying to finish your work in progress, you are in the right place. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh, also known as Christine Inc., I-N-K, christine-inc.com. Each day, I share with you the writing habits I've learned over my 18 years as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author. I have found that three things in particular have a huge impact on your success as an author, and they have the ability to turn someone who doesn't really see themselves as an author into one. Those three things are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits. Here's today's quote. "Pain is temporary. Quitting lasts forever." Lance Armstrong. So speaking of, yesterday in episode 214, yesterday on Monday, the 11th, I shared some of my anti-quitting strategies. Well, specifically 3 questions to ask yourself when you feel like quitting instead of finishing your book writing project. So specifically use these questions and then the strategies I'm going to share today when you find yourself deep in the weeds of your book project, so to speak, wondering what on earth you got yourself into, and maybe if it might be easier to quit than to keep fighting through the obstacles. So again, be sure and listen to episode number 214 to get those 3 questions. Now here are 3 more strategies to use when you find yourself in that situation where sometimes quitting seems easier than pushing on. First one, what will it really take for you to finish writing your book? Now, this is not to be confused with the anxiety-driven fears and negative self-talk in your head about, the Red Sea that must be parted and the water that must be turned into wine and all the miracles that must happen in order for this book to get done. What I want you to do is write down all the actual, concrete, tangible, actual obstacles and problems to be solved that are standing between you and your completed manuscript. So really challenge yourself to come up with the actual concrete problems that can be solved, not the negative stuff. This is a great way to kind of sort out, what is perceived in your head as an obstacle and then what are actual problems that can be solved. And then answer the question, who can help solve those problems? Because there's always someone. And as I mention here every day on your daily writing habit, I have groups on Facebook and LinkedIn. It's called Inc. Authors. And it's on Facebook and it's on LinkedIn. That is a great place to start to answer the question of who can help you solve the problems that are standing between you and your finished book. Inc. Authors on Facebook and LinkedIn. Next question. How many of your worries are actually about writing your book? Now, kind of similar to the first one, but what I'm talking about here is the worries that are actually about the writing, which is what you should be focusing on now, versus the other things, the other kind of worries that maybe are starting to flood your brain about things that happen further down the road, like publishing, launch, marketing, and sales. Now, these things are all important, but if worrying about them rather than strategizing about them, and those are 2 important things, if that's getting in the way of your writing, so if all those things like marketing and publishing and launch strategies, all that kind of stuff, if that's actually getting in the way of you writing a great book, your priorities are out of order. Again, I want to make sure I hit this. Working on your book launch, publishing, content marketing, and sales strategies are all smart decisions, but merely worrying about them without taking action and then allowing that worry to become book writing procrastination, that's no good. Final anti-quitting strategy for you. What can you do right now to reconnect with your book and your initial excitement that you felt to write it? So is there one story or scene or lesson or just something that you envisioned when you first came up with your book idea? I know for me, like when I come up with even a short story idea, it's like, oh my God, that scene is going to be so awesome. Or that character, I'm really fascinated by that character. Or, if you're writing a nonfiction book, like this is the main point that I think is really going to excite my readers. I know that there's probably this one thing that maybe set off your entire book project. Or just, if it wasn't one thing, maybe it was just, there's something that's a little bit more exciting than everything else in the book. There's one thing that you really wanted to get to this whole time. So, to avoid quitting, don't wait a second longer. No matter where you are in the writing of your book, stop what you're doing and write that one thing now. Write that passion piece, that scene, that, share that piece of content, that big lesson. It might be the conclusion of your book. It doesn't matter. You can write your book out of order. People, shoot movies out of order. You don't have to write your book in order. So to reconnect with that initial spark and that passion to write your book, write that one thing that you have been excited about since before day one of your book. Now, if you've already written that one thing, go work on it some more. So reconnect with it by polishing it, fine-tuning it, editing it. Break the rules that the unofficial rules I've said about, not editing as you write. This is the time to find the thing that excites you and work on it. Find the emotional spark that set off your book project and stoke it. Above all, if at all possible, don't quit. If this seems like an impossible request, please find some other authors to talk to, like in my Inc. authors group on Facebook and LinkedIn. Quit. There's nothing, wrong with quitting in many situations. Just really want to make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. So please connect with us on Inc. authors on Facebook and LinkedIn, because again, I want you to finish your book. Or you can contact me personally for a pep talk, Christine-Ink.com. Keep going, and you might not believe it now, but you've got this. Thank you for joining me here on Your Daily Writing Habit, where I'm helping you write and hopefully finish writing an awesome book. And if you know someone else who wants to write an awesome book, please let them know about Your Daily Writing Habit. They can listen on their Amazon Alexa device or wherever they get their podcasts. Until tomorrow, happy writing.